Ruby and Grant's match. So we'll go through a few points. Okay, we're gonna look at Grant real quick. Point out positive. Grant has a split step, so when the ball's being hit, he is in the air. He might need a split step a smidge sooner because it really should be in the air when there, but he's pretty close. He's in the ballpark. Okay, like this, you could get a little bit more footwork, so you can just see he's going to go up and he's not going to move again. So just high-level tennis players, they're taking multiple steps to really get in the perfect position. And part of that reason he's going to have to pull this wide is he just doesn't have the spacing down quite right. Okay, let's look at Ruby. Ruby hits the ball. We see 0 split step. Okay, she hits the ball through the middle. Fine from here. She just needs to hit it deeper. But then we're going to see... And this is actually, let's go here. This is one of the few times there's no need for a split step. Ruby's so far off the court, she can get away with no split step here, but she's getting further and further behind, and here she's gonna catch that ball way late. So, and this could be one where maybe she needs to open stance it. She can't close off the stance because that's gonna make her even more closed when she needs to have a little bit more of an open stance to deal with that ball. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, let's go into Grant's return. So he's got the split step again. So Grant's going to struggle for power. Anybody know why? It's a high ball, but why is he going to struggle with the high ball?
He's not bending his knees.
Well, on a high ball, you can't bend your knees a ton, right? This is a ball where you're not going to bend a ton. So what is he missing a little bit?
He's not coming up.
He's not below the ball, so he does need to bend a little bit more, but he doesn't coil much. So, like here he just has, here's the point. He can only build power from here to here. If his racket came into his body and by turning more than sideways, this is a slow second serve, right? So he's got time. He needs to coil up a ton more to unwind into the ball and then go up the Ferris wheel and lift. Okay, so that's for Grant. That's how he's going to have to develop more power off of the return of serve. Let's go to 304. Okay, Ruby's got a split step there, so that's good to see. Okay, so we got a wide miss. Remember, wide and in the net from the baseline are the two no-nos. So let's go into why. Once again, we're going to talk. Look how the left foot is cross of the right, okay? She's going to struggle. She doesn't have an open stance, so she's going to really struggle to get that back into the court. So this is where we'd want her to step out more with her left foot, and she's going to be able to hit more through the middle of the court, okay? Let's see. This one will be a lot shorter today, but we just got a couple more to look at. 442. Okay, let's take a look at Ruby's serve here. I'm going to have you guys point out some stuff, see if you guys can give us some feedback. I guess that was out. It's hard to tell. Watch the serve again. Okay, so interesting. What did she do on her approach? Cross court. This is probably outside of what? What? Her short ball range. Okay, but she hits it pretty deep, and it creates a real, now Grant has to hit off of a diagonal ball coming in up the line, because if he goes back cross court, it's going right to her, right? So he tries to change the direction. That is not easy. So if I'm Grant, I'm thinking, my goal is to make her play a volley here. I just can't miss it wide. Okay, but it's outside of her short ball range, because you can see she's not covering anything that's within, there's a 6 to 7 foot window up the line he could have hit into a lot safer. She's not going to cover it. Had this ball been much more towards the middle, let's say her ball, Let's go into just where it would have been more appropriate to play the short ball. Had she been hitting the ball about right here, great time to hit cross court because she's definitely in far enough, okay, but she's too far along the sideline. Make sense? So this is generally the ball, unless she really wants to pick on somebody's backhand. She knows the backhand's a major weakness, and that's all she cares about is making it a backhand. This is a ball she probably more or less wants to take right up the line, and then she's at the place to follow the ball right about right there. Okay? Tell that to your brother. Okay. Let's go into the serve. Anybody pick up anything on the serve? Okay, so we don't see any coil. Right away, we don't see her hips turn in, her knees don't turn in towards us, the shoulder, okay? She does hood the racket really well, but then she's so far open, it's gonna be very hard to snap it out to the right, okay? And let's see, and there we got the same thing as yesterday, right? Do you notice our right leg is completely straight already? Should still have knee bend flexion turned in there. Then she could really use her lower half. Okay, so easy improvements on the serve here. .518. Okay, here we go. A little bit better serve, just arm action there. Through the middle, the returns through the middle. Grant's got a semi-short ball. He plays it deep through the middle. Beautiful. Ruby's got very circular strokes, so this is really like this ball right here. Watch her forehand. I mean, this is what we're going for in terms of hitting through the middle, hitting high and deep. She actually beats Grant with the ball there. Okay, gets out of Grant's strike zone. Grant needs to recognize he's either got to take that way earlier or he's got to back up because it's just, you know, fortunately Grant's going to get taller and that won't be such a high ball for him. But let's look at, does she have a split step? Kind of. She's in the air right here when the ball's already well off of his racket. So if she had her split step down pat, she's getting to that ball. Okay, so that's why it's so important that we understand that. But what I like both of them is just the start of this point. I want you guys to see what we're going for in terms of rallies. Look at his return right through the middle. Her return there. This is where maybe you could say if I get comfortable, Grant could step in on this ball a little bit more and take it before it rises so much and take some more time away from her. But otherwise, good hitting through the middle of the court. So, you know, there's not a lot either one of them could do. Eventually, one of them got the short ball. But through the middle of the court, that's what rallies. Can you guys see how circular her swing looked? His forehand looks circular too. They're going to make tons of balls in play. They're not going to hit the net, okay? So just have those visions in your mind when you guys are coming out here doing all of your work, getting into your match play. So anyways, all right. That is it for on Ruby's serve here. So let's find a point where she's serving. Okay. Here's a serve. Is that her serve? Yep. Okay, so what I mean is right when she goes to toss, both arms go up, and that right arm already straightens out. So if she's doing this correctly, she would be turning, coiling more, and the knee would be still bent at this point. It's only right here as she starts to go into the hooding action where we should start to see the right leg snap, uncoil, and get straight. Because that's that last link to get tall on the right side of your body to snap out the arm. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Here's where I'm talking about. She should have this knee turned in to the back fence. So it would be, okay, I'm here. Ruby and I technically right now are in the same position, but my right arm's lower. Okay, it's more relaxed. She's kind of has this motion of down together, up together, which we don't want. So we need to turn more, the knees turn in more. Okay, the toss happens, and then that's when this all gets straightened. That's sending the kinetic chain at the right time, okay? So make sure you guys just have that awareness when I'm talking about that back leg and when it needs to go straight. Okay? Any questions? Make sense? Okay. So lots of good, they overall, I thought like their strokes are looking really good through the middle of the court. Can you guys see how they're not going to make a ton of mistakes off the ground? You can see they're not wristing it. They don't have open racket faces. They're getting more and more to the circular swings that we want. Okay,